there's 3 ways how to grow sales on Amazon, and one of them is actually more easier than others. I will cover it in this video. If you're selling on Amazon, make sure to hit subscribe.
All right, let's get straight to the point. So topic is that how to get more sales and customers on Amazon. So there's basically 3 specific ways, and let's look into those. And let's take into consideration that, okay, what is the best way? So how to grow? So there's basically 3 ways how to grow sales on Amazon. So I mean, one way is definitely like increase sales of existing products. I mean, whatever products you have, whatever you have running on, I mean, just do something that is going to be increasing the sales of those products. Then secondly, launch new products. I mean, that's a good way to grow, but I mean, it's basically more effort than the first one. Then third way to grow is to expand into new markets. And the key thing to keep in mind is that take the path of least resistance. And if we are assuming that you're already doing what we're basically teaching you, so you're already like tapping on to, I mean, basically optimizing what's happening inside of Amazon, inside the marketplace, then definitely, I mean, the path of least resistance is number third option there, like expand into new marketplaces on Amazon. I do mean like Amazon marketplaces. So why should you expand? First of all, I mean, new markets brings new customers and more sales, and there's more channels, which means that wider distribution network for your brand and for your products. You get more visibility for your brand, and then you're building a global brand, which is going to be increasing your valuation of the company or valuation of the brand, which means that you're going to be getting like a higher valuation, higher multiplier for your brand if you have the plan to do an exit later on, which means that selling your brand just to a different company. And typically, I mean, of course, it really depends on the product, but I mean, often there's quite less competition, especially in the smaller markets and compared to US. And it's a good question to ask that, is the product opportunity really good enough in the target market? But I mean, thing is that it doesn't really matter because I mean, you don't really need to send that much stock to start with. I mean, you could basically just send 50 units or 200 units, I mean, to a new market there. And less competition is going to mean that it's easier to rank your products. It's easier to get visibility for your products in these smaller marketplaces. So point is to really start small. So it doesn't mean that if you go to a new market that you just go all in and send thousands of units to a new marketplace. I mean, that's definitely not the smartest way, because I mean, it's just going to cost you more, and there's no 100% guarantee that the demand will be massive so quickly. But thing is that, I mean, the market might surprise you, and this has happened to us so many times that we didn't really expect anything from a new marketplace. But anyway, we just sent like some units there, and it's just started like building on by itself, meaning that we didn't do any kind of ranking campaigns. We didn't really do anything on the marketplace. It just kind of took off by itself. So, okay. So now we have established that it's a good idea to expand. So next question would be that where to expand? Well, I mean, I have already lost count. Amazon has so many marketplaces, and every year they are opening up new marketplaces. So US, Canada, Mexico, UK, Germany, France, Italy, Spain, Japan, India, Australia, Middle East, Sweden, Singapore, Netherlands. I mean, there's plenty of marketplaces to choose from.
Now imagine people are saying Amazon is getting full.
Yeah, okay, which one is getting full?
How many of these marketplaces were there 2 years ago, 3 years ago? 5 years ago, there was like maybe half of them, even less.
Yeah,
Right.
and it's going to be increasing in the future as well. I mean, believe me, Amazon has no plans in stopping here. So they are just going to be increasing all the time, getting new marketplaces, getting new sales channels, and just working on expansion. And also they are focused on getting more customers from the current marketplaces. Yeah. Key criteria you should consider is that when you're thinking like where to expand is low barrier to entry. And for example, in India, foreign company, at least right now, is not allowed to sell in India, which means that you would need some third-party company to help you sell there. So that's definitely not low barrier to entry. So you need to consider that, okay, I mean, which marketplace is going to take the least amount of effort for me? And another good point is that, I mean, does the marketplace have enough sales volume? And if you think about like Amazon, what Amazon did in China, I mean, Amazon used to have a marketplace in China as well, but it didn't really have enough sales volume, and so it didn't really like match this criteria, and it definitely wasn't low barrier to entry. So it really should be minimum effort when you're thinking about expanding. So this means that you could just copy paste the listings, and if that's the case, then it pretty much means that you should do only English languages, because that also means that you do not need to do customer service in other languages than English. So I mean, the rule is that the product listings have to be in the local language, and customer service has to be in the local language as well. So I mean, if you think about English marketplaces, then okay, I mean, Canada, UK, Australia, it is. So those are the marketplaces you should like first tap into, because that matches all our criteria here. So it's pretty like a low barrier to entry. I mean, there's enough sales volume, and it's pretty much just copy paste listings. And in case you need to do like customer service, then I mean, it's going to be in English language. And yeah, I can also mention that typically if you do not have like follow-up emails and that kind of stuff enabled, you're not going to be getting tons of customer questions and emails and that kind of stuff. So it's pretty much going to be like minimum effort in the customer service. But that being said, like if you do receive emails, I mean, you are expected to handle the local language. So I mean, Canada, that's pretty easy. I mean, it's the same seller central account as US. So I mean, North America includes the North American seller central account includes Mexico as well. So there's seller central for US, Canada, Mexico. So I mean, if you have a US account, you already have that option there. So I mean, what is required right now is just to create the listings in Canada. I mean, just use the same UPC to match the ASIN in US, and basically images will be the same with the same ASIN, and it will even show the reviews. And for price, I mean, you just need to take into consideration the different currency and add a bit of extra cover up for any surprises there. And yeah, I mean, then you need to do a shipping plan and sending the actual inventory as well. And Europe, well, I mean, UK is no longer part of the European Union, but still, I mean, it's currently still in the same European account. So, I mean, it controls Germany, France, Italy, Spain, and what you need in order to sell in Europe is the VAT number, so value added tax, and you also need this EORI number, which is the Economic Operators Registration and Identification number. So the point of this number is that, I mean, the shipments in customs are basically identified to your company. And it's important that you use your number in those shipments, because it might be that the supplier is actually using their number, so which means that then they are able to like take in those deductions and shipment costs and stuff like that in terms of VAT. And yeah, I mean, you can, for handling this VAT in Europe, you can just use service to handle these tax liabilities. So there's many companies who do this kind of service. So there's basically many different options, and it's basically the same thing in Europe. So it's just about like create the listing and use the same UPC to match the ASIN in US, and images will be the same, and price, I mean, just take into consideration the different currency, but additionally the VAT, and add a bit of extra to cover up for any surprises there. And the listings are just copy paste, meaning because the images are fetched automatically based on the ASIN number, and it's pretty much just okay, just copy paste the titles, bullets, description, and search term and so on from US. And the thing is that, I mean, you can do it even for like ad campaigns, meaning that you can export your sponsored Amazon ad campaigns from the US, then import to the target market, and basically just get those running. So even in terms of ads, you can just do copy paste. And in terms of rest of the Europe, I mean, yeah, I mean, use the same UPC to match the ASIN in UK, and typically it's going to ask you about this global SKU. So it means that it will just connect the inventory, and I mean within Europe. So basically, when you accept that, then it will just going to use this same inventory levels. And translations, I mean, Amazon, I think they still have this their own service, but I've never used it because there was some I mean, their quality, at least some years ago, wasn't that good. So I mean, at that time, it really made more sense to, I mean, do the translations from other marketplaces than I mean, from like from Fiverr or whatever, instead of just using Amazon for that. But I mean, Amazon does have a translation service. And I mean, don't enable any of these follow-up emails unless you really want to answer emails in other languages than English. Yes, Margaret, did you have some question?
Yes, hi. I had a question as you were talking about all those other markets. I just a couple of weeks ago discovered that one product was sold in Canada. I have, I think maybe half a year ago, applied for this NARF program, and that's it. I didn't do anything that I want to add my listing to Canada as well and so on, but it was where the no bullet points, just some initial title what I created when I wanted to get this FNSQ codes and then pictures. And it was very strange for me that I didn't do anything, but Amazon copied part of my listing to Canada as well. I tried to fix my listing. I put my EPC and some promotions as well. And what seems to me very strange is that, do I understand it correctly, that there is no like similar products or sponsored products in Canada as it is in US? I understand that this like you can do product targeting and you can do sponsored display. I do both currently in Canada, but it doesn't display the ads the way it is in US, that you have like this first row, you have like 3 or 4 sponsored products and so on. If you search for in a Canadian Amazon site, you also don't see the sponsored ads. You just see like organic listings.
Yeah, so the Amazon ad system, I mean, it's not as let's say sophisticated in other marketplaces as it is in the US. So, and I think, I mean, in the Canadian market, like it's pretty much fairly new, because I remember it's not many years ago that there was no ads at all. Okay. So it's quite different. But did you say that you did not send any inventory either?
No, but I have registered for this NARF program. That means that it's the same market area, and that Amazon itself ships from its US warehouses products to Canadian customers. Yes,
cool. So it's finally possible.
Yes.
So it's finally possible to use the same inventory.
Yeah, I haven't sent anything, and I thought that maybe someday I will open a listing, and I was really surprised that I just got a sale. It was like ridiculous price, like not like maybe 50% higher than in US, and I don't know how Amazon created this kind of half listing, but someone bought my product, so it was very strange. But now everything is quite okay, and people and the sponsor ads are really cheap compared to US.
Yeah, but limited.
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, there's really no reason not to expand to different, Canada as well, because I mean, you don't necessarily need to send like the different segment there or so on. All right, cool. But in terms of Europe, I mean, like if you think about all, I mean, Germany is a good marketplace, but I mean, in German, you need to do everything in German. So, I mean, that's not really the first marketplace to go after, because as I mentioned, like it should be really like minimum effort. So really like low barrier to entry and so on. And then, I mean, there's this pan-European FBA, and it basically means that you just send to one Amazon marketplace, and then Amazon is just going to be moving the inventory around within Europe. But the thing here is that, I mean, enabling this then brings different like VAT requirements in all these marketplaces where inventory is stored. And it includes like Poland and Czech as well. So, I mean, don't do this before you're actually ready. And typically, I mean, shipping to Germany can be more cost effective. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So, I mean, when you think about these different 3 different ways how to grow, I mean, either you grow sales for your existing products, but I mean, if you're already doing everything that we are teaching you and really tapping on to you, then I mean, okay, I mean, you could look into external traffic and so on, but that's not definitely the easiest way. And then second thing is launching new products, and third thing is like expanding to new marketplaces. So I mean, new marketplaces is definitely the like least effort out of these.
If you like this video, make sure to hit thumbs up and let me know your biggest takeaway in the comments. If you are in need of help of anything, make sure to click the link and sign up for my free training.